Hi, welcome to Nicci's vlog, and today the Faithful Word Baptist Church, which is a church in Arizona that inspired me to my show this year, which is called God Hates Me, I'm Trans, because according to the pastor of the Faithful Word Baptist Church in Arizona, a Mr. Stephen Anderson, God in fact hates me. In fact, he didn't direct it specifically at me. He directed it almost entirely at Caitlyn Jenner. In fact, let me show you a little bit of video of him responding to his congregation in the middle of a service about Miss Jenner.
People, and then people are like, "Oh, we need to pray for him that he finds Jesus." I'm going to pray that he dies and goes to hell. Right. Are you serious? Hatred. I have no love for this Bruce freak. Yeah. I hope he dies today. I hope he dies and goes to hell. He's disgusting. He's filthy. He's reprobate. And I would pray all these prayers from Psalm 69 and so. Oh, how could you say that? Well, how did God say it? Yeah. I'd pray all this in Psalm 69 and Psalm 109 toward him. You evil, filthy animal that's destroying the morals of our country, die! I hope I lose all the freak, pervert sympathizers. Get out of here! You're destroying America! I'm going to pray that he dies and goes to hell. I'm going to pray that he dies. Die! 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 Die!
I find that all quite shocking. Every time I watch it, I'm a bit sort of lost for words, really, because that doesn't seem to fit well with my view of Christianity, particularly not when, actually, here is the Faithful Word Baptist Church, there's Mr. Anderson in the middle here, surrounded by his flock, and there's lots of children here. And so these are lots of children that have been brought up to hate, and I feel kind of surprised at that. And so I sort of felt I was morally obliged, given the fact that I was in Arizona for the first time in my life last week, that I should go and find the Faithful Word Baptist Church. And during his little kind of shouting match at his congregation, he was quoting Psalm 69, and I was so intrigued, what was so bad about Psalm 69, that he would want to quote it at Caitlyn and therefore, by default, me. And so I thought maybe I should dress like a hooker, stand outside his church and read Psalm 69. Interestingly, in my country, in the UK, most churches are built in the shape of a cross, and they either have a tower or a spire, and you can pretty much, every village has got one, and they all stand out, you know exactly where they are. We drove past his church 4 times before we realised that this is what it looks like. It's in a strip mall. It's next to a pawn shop, which I thought was quite interesting, although seem to have misspelt the word porn. Anyway, here's me outside there. I would like to point out Arizona is an open carry state, which means I suspect most of his congregation were carrying guns, and they were in a Bible study on a Wednesday whilst I was outside recording this. But there you go. Here's Psalm 69 from outside the Faithful Word Baptist Church in Arizona.
Chapter 21, which says this: They also gave me gall for my food, and for my thirst they gave me vinegar to drink. Let their table become a snare before them, let their well-being a trap. Let their eyes be darkened so that they do not see, and make their loins shake continually. Pour out your indignation upon them, and let your anger take hold of them. Let their dwelling place be desolate. Let no one live in their tents. For they persecute the ones you have struck, and talk the grief of the ones that you have wounded. Add iniquity to their iniquity, and let them not come into your righteousness, and let them be blotted out of the book of the living, and not be written with righteousness. It's kind of rot in hell and, never come back and darken my door kind of thing. And what's interesting is I think he's sort of taking it out of context, because earlier on in the psalm, which sort of sets up the story for it, this is one man asking the Lord to save him from persecution from people that hate him without cause. And so I'm going to go slightly earlier to the one I think Mr. Stephen Anderson is talking about, and let's start chapter 4. Verse 4, so still Psalm 69. Those who hate me without cause are more than the hairs on my head. Hating somebody without cause. Well, that sort of suggests that the bigger my wig, the more people are going to hate me. It is tempting to sort of read that and go right back at you. But then that's sort of lowering to his standards. And so, I read Psalm 69 like this is somebody who has been persecuted for their faith and is hated for no reason, and that they're calling on God to sort out the people who are persecuting him. That's not what's going on here. Like, the trans people of the world don't hate Stephen Anderson at all, and certainly not for his faith. We might not like what he says, and it's certainly making me question whether Christianity is quite the thing it should be. Like, I never really thought of this as a book of hate, but it seems to me that these people are using this as a book of hate.
So, Faithful Word Baptist Church in Arizona. I like this. It's an independent, fundamental, soul-winning, and it's based on the King James Bible only, which is this book, and the version I was reading. It's the version that the Gideons leave in every hotel. So I think my observation is this, really. My view of Christianity. I used to be part of it. I used to be a Christian, but I think I'm probably okay now. And part of the reason I've stopped being a Christian is because Christianity seems to be full of people like this. And he seems to me to be a hateful person who is spreading hate and kind of probably not really adding value to the world in any way. And I worry about the children that are in his church, and I worry about what he's saying and how he's saying it, and particularly worry about the fact he's doing it in an open carry state. There's other bits of video where he clearly doesn't like homosexuals. He clearly thinks they should all be put to death. This is just his latest little tirade. Like I said, I suspect most trans people would keep away from them, and I suspect maybe I was taking a little bit of a chance standing outside his church in an open carry state recording this, but it sort of felt to me like a moral obligation to say this. To me, the Bible shouldn't really be used to spread hate. I don't think that's what it was intended for, and I don't think it's what you should use it for. But there you go. I'd like to know what you think. In the comments would be really nice. Is the Bible a book of hate? Or should we be using it to heal the world and bring people together and having less anger and less fighting and less killing and less targeting? Somewhere on my vlog, you'll find a video of me singing a song called Huskinson Street, and over the top of that song, we list all of the women, all of the trans women, some trans men, but mostly trans women that have been murdered just for being trans. And it seems to me that if you're going to stand in a pulpit and spread that kind of hate, you are going to create an environment where some people think it's appropriate to kill people like me because of what we're wearing. And that doesn't seem to me to be the sort of world that we ought to live in. So, please tell me what you think. Is the Bible a book of hate, or should it be a book of love? Thanks for watching. Bye.